On this episode of Delivering Marketing Joy, we talk with Katie Meenan from Alphabroder about how she builds a relationship through social selling. Hey there, and welcome to another edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. I am your host, Kirby Hasseman, and joining me today is the social media specialist, guru, queen, and rock star at Alphabroder, Katie Meenan. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Kirby, for having me. It's been an honor to finally be on your podcast or video.
Yeah,
blog.
Absolutely. So in the interest of transparency, I want to tell you how nice Katie is. We recorded this once before, and we had technical difficulties in doing it, and she's agreed to do it again, and I really appreciate that. So thank you.
You're just looking for an excuse just to talk to me, Kirby. That's what it was.
That's right.
All good.
That's right. That's right. Well, it was fun, so we'll do it again. So here we go. So I want to jump into the first question because we talked about you being sort of a social media guru. And, I think when a lot of people think about growing a business on social, they think about pushing out their message. How do I push out my message the most effective way? But I've seen you create value on social by responding and engaging and just kind of being sort of a friend to people on social, on commonsku in particular, but other platforms as well. Is that a strategy that's on purpose? And can you talk about how it works a little bit?
So I treat social media, or how I interact with commonsku, how I react to people on a daily basis. Yeah. So the strategy is me being me, and I like to treat people how I would want to be treated. So, and I put that into commonsku. So what I mean is I don't want people thinking that, anytime that I post for Alphabroder that I'm pushing product and buy this and, Alphabroder's new sales, wait, that's not what I want to say. Scratch this. Cut that part out.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So what I want to say is Alphabroder, wait, scratch that again.
Okay.
Kirby, I'm so nervous.
No, you're doing fine. So let me ask the question again. Is that okay? I'll just ask the question again and we'll start from the top there. And then, but if keep going, and then I actually have a follow-up kind of conversation about this too. So I think once we get going, we'll be good, okay?
Yes. I don't know why I'm so nervous this time around. All right.
No worries. Do you want to just start from the top?
No.
Okay.
Unless you want to.
Nope, we're good.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So when I think about people growing a business on social media, I think many people think about doing it that way by crafting the right message and pushing out the right message as effectively or maybe as aggressively as they possibly can. But I've seen you sort of grow relationships on social and especially on commonsku and other platforms by just responding, by engaging, by being a human, I guess, for lack of a better term, right? So is that a strategy that's on purpose, and how's that working?
So I treat people the way I would want to be treated as a consumer.
Yeah.
I personally don't like when people just push product down my throat or buy my brand. I'm better than you, or I'm better than them. And I take how I would want to be treated into commonsku. So when I see people such as yourself and other people putting out articles and being, informative, and even when they're pushing out their own product,
right.
I want them to know that I'm appreciative of their work and what they're doing. And I want them to let them know that I value, I value what they're doing. So I think when you just engage with people just to have a conversation, I feel like it lets them know, like, whoa, like, she's not a robot. She's actually, there's a person behind that, behind that picture there. And I just feel like what it develops is it develops a more closer relationship. Well, it starts a relationship, not first. And I personally don't want people to think, that I'm looking at them as a dollar sign. I'm looking at them because I want to get to know them. I want to get to know their brand, and in hopes when an opportunity does come along, and Alphabroder, seeing me through commonsku might not have been their first choice, but maybe like, what, now I want to do business with her because I trust her. I know she values me as who I am as a person, who I am as a company. And I just think that that's more important to develop a relationship first than just talking about product and talking about, your business and stuff first. Get to know that person first.
No, I totally agree. I think that's super insightful, Katie. It's funny. I talk about this a lot. Number one, I always say that if you wouldn't do it at a cocktail party, then you probably shouldn't do it on social media, right? You wouldn't walk up to somebody and be like, hey, you got to buy my thing right at a cocktail party, right? That would be weird. And then the other thing that you said that really caught me, I'm like, oh, I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday, is that we think as salespeople, as marketers, as entrepreneurs, we think about things from our perspective a lot. We don't often think about it from the consumer's perspective. And I think by just spending a second and thinking about it from their perspective, there's a ton of value in that. So I think that's super insightful. Nice. Okay, so I've said that you can build relationships online that can turn into kind of the 3D world, the real world relationships. I kind of assume based on your last answer, you agree with that. So can you give any examples about how that sort of worked for you?
So again, using commonsku as the main example, I don't want to think that I'm the main inspiration about it, because I know I'm not, but I would like to think that I had some kind of insight on it. Was when I started working with commonsku, when it was first brought to me in I don't remember. I think it was like 2016. commonsku was brought to me, to my attention, and I took it to instead of just liking, let's just I wanted to, as you were referring to in the first question, was to develop relationships. And as I did that, I developed more and more relationships with the people at commonsku. I worked more and more with Mark Graham, Samantha Cates would, they would send me private messages saying, you're doing such a great job, and just them just encouraging me, letting me know how good of a job it kept me doing better, do better at it. And I think it developed a stronger relationship with commonsku. So having said that, I think I started to see the value in commonsku so much that I'm talking to people at work about it. I think commonsku was seeing the value as a supplier on what suppliers can do through commonsku, and we are now supporting commonsku's sponsoring sessions, commonsku sessions this year. And I would like to think with what I started with Alphabroder, that relationship with commonsku made it bigger into now we're doing something that the company's never done before, the industry's never done before, which is these one day sessions for distributors to increase their sales. So
that's awesome. I love that. That's really good. And it's cool about it is it's, what you never know is where seeds that are planted will end up growing, right? And that's a great example. It's like you never thought that there might be educational events around the industry about that, but those are the seeds that kind of grew. And so that's cool. So final question for you. We're all looking for sources of motivation, right? Like, so what are some things that help keep you inspired day to day?
Well, Curbs, you're one of them.
Okay, thank you.
Kirby, you're one. I mean that sincerely. I think that when I look at, I'm thinking I'm doing a lot, and then all of a sudden I see someone like yourself, like Bill Petrie, Charity Gibson, Kate Plummer, everybody at commonsku. Not like you guys have your own businesses and you're doing vlogs and podcasts and articles, and I'm thinking me doing this one interview was a lot, but seriously, you guys are sincerely inspiration to the promotional product industry to keep pushing yourself to, be better, do better things, embrace change. And so it's people such as yourself and others that are doing something very similar that keeps me striving to be better at what I'm doing now.
Thank you. I really, that means a lot. Thanks, Katie. I appreciate it. Okay. Well, you have answered my 3 questions. I give everybody a chance to ask me one. Do you have one for me?
I do. So I see that you are a man of many hats, or you wear many hats.
Yeah, sure.
I never get that phrase right, ever. You either wear them or you are them, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I understand what you mean.
You get what I mean.
Yeah.
You're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you own a brewery, which I have to go visit at some point. You do the vlogs and articles and podcasts and all the above. You're a co-owner with your wife, you're a father, all the above. I don't know, you probably have other hats that I'm not aware of.
That's fun. That's great.
But all that stuff that you do,
Mm-hmm.
How are you able to find leisure time and to prioritize all those responsibilities and do them well, and still, what I meant to say is, and still find leisure time to do all of that?
Yeah, no, I think, thank you. It's super nice of you. Even the question was kind. So I would say, number one, it's a challenge, right? It's a challenge to try and balance things. Right now, I'm in a season where it's increasingly difficult. Businesses taken off, things we're doing are doing well, and so then it's even harder. You know what I mean? So it's good. What I would say, a couple things. I've got a really incredible team that helps behind the scenes. I tend to get credit for a lot of things that other people do. That is a huge piece, is the sort of the team behind me. I think number 2, I'm super intentional, right? Like if there's anything I do, I plan for it. I joke about it. You've probably heard me say it before. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist.
Right.
So I really do try and pack my calendar with things that, I'm intentional and I'm excited about too, right? So one of the things I'd say is, a lot of what I'm doing, I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing the content. I enjoy running the business. And so that's great. And then, I think I have an understanding family that, quite frankly, works with me and helps me. And then they also are the ones who kind of come up to me and tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, stop talking about business.
Yeah, take a break.
Yeah, that's right. So, but that being said, I throw out a couple things as if I've got it figured out. I think that is a work in progress for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but just knowing that, it's about continually, striving to do it. So I hope that answers your question.
No, it does. It does. It's you have to have the right people supporting you. Totally. What you're saying is what I heard.
Yeah.
And you have to definitely prioritize by writing down lists, which is a huge default of mine that I can't, I need to write lists. Yeah. And I need to stick with them. I need to do them. I don't preach what I say, but I definitely have to do it. So
cool.
But it's great. No, but that's very, very, that's also insightful on how Kirby Hasseman is the way that he is.
Thank you. Well, Katie, first of all, thanks for doing this. Second of all, thanks for doing it a second time. I really do appreciate it.
No problem. I enjoyed it.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll have to do it again sometime. And that is going to wrap up this edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Kirby. Bye.